speaking of Vore Dungeon, last time on Light of Xaryxis.
That wasn't a Vore dungeon last time. You guys did a series of arena battles.
No, I wasn't here, so it was definitely a Vore Dungeon. I was sick all last week, okay?
These guys could have really used your help in some of these combat encounters.
Oh, I
Did you
bet they
see
could
my
have.
status, McDohl? Did you see all the numbers left in my character sheet? Because they're public information right now.
Let me take a look-see here.
We'll just scroll up in the chat.
Hang
It's
on.
pretty
At the
bad.
end of the
Yeah.
last session.
To build a coalition against the Xaryxian Empire, the characters came to terms with a mercane named Vokath and fought monsters for his amusement. At the end of the final battle, Prince Zelith of the Xaryxian Empire appeared on a dragon, determined to take Princess Zidali into his clutches.
Oh, he got Psy-bombed. Okay, that makes sense.
So somehow, Captain Milos is like at full health after these arena battles.
Yeah,
He fights that well.
yeah,
Oh,
he's
quick ship
just that.
Martinez get over to help.
Now,
He jumps out of
just
the
that
private
splendid.
box.
to kind of even things out, should we start him out in a gelatinous cube?
Sure.
Let's
I'm
start
okay
him out
with that.
inside the dragon's belly.
Start him as out inside of. Starts the gelatinous cube. Mousse waves
Oh,
at his
right.
uncle.
Sarge is humongous.
I have
Give-
not been on the Horror Stories Reddit in a little while. I'm curious as to how the gelatinous cube story would go over there.
Oh, this is. Oh, the
Sorry, I'm
scores are
making you
20
reference
feet.
from-
What the fuck?
Yeah.
yeah, this is a big damn arena. This is big boy time.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
good now.
Oh, we didn't load the previous one.
I think I was like over here or something.
Brick, I think
That was
you
over
can
close to the
get
private
right
box.
down there.
I don't think it matters where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can place yourself wherever you want. I didn't save the table, so.
Okay.
Yeah, this is almost like why have a battle mat for this arena, because it's just a gigantic.
Yeah. And
Do
if you
we
put the squares into this, it's a mess.
Do we have a chance to like take an
No.
action?
No.
Okay. I didn't
Uh,
know it was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It says before you can take an action, if I recall you saying that.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I think
printed
this all
out.
happened middle of my turn or something.
Before the characters have time to rest or take any further actions. He came down on a dragon, because he shattered. There's like a crystal dome up over the arena that he shattered. Came in on a solar dragon. Behind him, in the sky, you can see several star moths surrounding the base.
Are those the ships that make you crazy?
No, those are the ships of the Xaryxian Empire, as I recall.
They are indeed,
They-
yes.
That
Well, they
break your spell
disabled
jamming
the
ability, though?
Spelljammer, yeah.
No, that was like a big jellyfish thing.
This big squid
Oh
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Star Moths are the ones we fought in the second session.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking in the air, you see part of this Star Moth fleet is in the air behind the prince, a few hundred feet away. So let's get a dragon on the table here. I think a solar dragon is blue, I've decided.
There was literally a picture of them that we stared at before we started.
Okay. I think they're blue. The one in the book is yellow. Their eggs are purple. But this one's blue. So yeah, he calls out, I am Prince Zelith of the Xaryxian Empire. I've come for my sister Zidali. Surrender her to me, you rats, or be annihilated. Now, Zidali is currently sitting up in the box with Vokath, who is on his feet out of his chair, leaning forward on the box, staring up at the Xaryxian prince indignantly. What do you decide to do?
What? That's what
Was the party ordered by the princess to defend her?
No, not particularly. She hasn't
Not
given you any.
particularly.
She hasn't given you any orders per se.
Oh, but
Our guest.
in the past, yeah, okay.
I mean,
Is
we're
she our
not giving
guest
her up.
or yeah? No,
I
we're
think she was more of our guest than anything else. She just kind of showed up one day.
She threw her weight around on the ship and insists on taking the captain's quarters, but
Yeah.
you guys aren't her bodyguards.
okay.
So, I mean, if she wants to
Yeah.
go with him, who are we to stop her? On the other hand, she is a valuable source of information.
And when you look up in
Yeah.
the box, you see that she has left the box.
Oh, well.
I guess that's the answer to your question, Mr. Prince. I think you need to go and pike off.
He looks
We
down
probably will,
at
move.
Captain Milos, waves his hand at him dismissively, says, "She should know. Our father is dead. When I become emperor, I want my sister present at my coronation."
Oh, so
you will
your
find
father
her-
is dead, so you're the emperor now? So you're the one I have beef with.
He tells you he doesn't eat beef. He's a vegetarian.
He's an elf. Checks out.
Careful, don't anger him too much. At least not yet.
Is anybody else exchanging words with the prince?
Milos is exchanging more barbs than actual words.
I'm going to, like-
go try and find the princess.
Sarge will ready his weapon and look to Milos and say, "Orders, Captain."
Like I just pass Naught. I pass him like 2 healing potions.
Lukari, as you head toward the edge of the arena, remember, there's no actual entrance into the arena. You guys got teleported in.
Yeah, well, he can get up to the top. He can Misty Step if nothing else.
Oh, okay, then you won't see this, but Knot and Snot will.
Mm-hmm.
As Lukari flies up to the private box where Vokoth is, I guess we'll put Vokoth on the map here.
And he's riding a dragon, or just has a dragon flying behind him?
He is, Prince Zelith is, or I guess Emperor Zelith is riding the dragon.
He
Okay.
hasn't been coronated yet. He's still a prince.
Uh,
I don't know what.
Zidali is approaching the arena from the outside. Down at the ground floor here. We'll say she's green now.
So I assume by your demeanor and your attitude that you do not intend to deviate from your late father's course of devouring planets of their energy.
He says, "I certainly do not intend to waste my breath on peasants." And he continues, every time you guys shout something up at him, he shoots an insult back and then turns his attention back to Vokoth, who's just regarding him very angrily. Eventually, Zidali blips into the arena through the outside. And starts making her way to the center of the arena. Does Captain Milos give the order to open fire? I'm not hearing a yes or a no.
Does I'm going to turn to Princess Zedalia and he says, "You do know what he represents, right?"
She tells you that not everyone in the Empire supports Zelith's claim to the throne. And as she's speaking loud enough that her brother can clearly hear her. "He needs me to legitimize his claim and prevent any unrest that might otherwise occur." She says this somewhat accusingly. And Zelith just gives a dismissive scoff. Like, yeah, so what? What are you going to do about it?
You don't have to go with him. I'll whisper snottily to her.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's
that's not
entirely
whispering
your
at that
decision.
point.
You.
It's entirely your decision, Princess, if you want to go with him. But if not, then I need to know now.
Milos.
Yep.
The next thing that happens is very confusing, and I'm not sure how the adventure intends the DM to convey it to the players. Here's what everybody
goody.
sees. She steps to the middle of the arena into the shadow of her brother's dragon. And in a very regal tone of voice, she praises all of you for your heroic attitude, but discourages you from getting involved in Xaryxian politics. She points out, quite correctly, that her brother is riding a dragon and has a fleet of ships at his back. When she mentions how little chance of escape there would be for anybody under this kind of embargo, you see Blastimov, who's standing off to the side, lower his musket to the ground. Like, he definitely gets it right away.
Yeah.
She also motions up to the box and says that she would not want to cause her gracious hosts any more trouble either. And Lukari, standing up there next to Vokoth, he definitely seems to appreciate that. Like, he doesn't want to get any more of his stuff broken. Milos.
Yep.
While this is happening, you are the recipient of a sending spell.
Okay.
Zadali tells you you'll need my ring to save your world. I've dropped it in the sand. Keep it safe. I'll be waiting for you in Xaryxis space.
We'll find it.
And
That is my response per the sending spell.
you didn't see her take out a ring. She's not wearing a ring. She didn't drop a ring. But yeah, over the course of the next few minutes, Zelith, very smugly, because he's definitely won this encounter handily, certainly a man who's very used to getting his own way every single day of his life, comes down on the dragon, scoops his sister up, disappears back through the broken sphere above you.
I'll wait until he's out of earshot, and his dragons return to the ships, turn to the others, and says, "We've got to turn over all this sand now."
And yeah, you find the ornate ring laying in the sand right at your feet. At no point did she step next to you. And I like this detail. If Zelith's solar dragon is dead, the princess just summons her own. That's just a thing she can do.
Yeah, obviously, as you do.
Seems like she could have done that at any point while she was locked up in the brig.
Yeah.
Well, she was unconscious when we found her, wasn't she?
I don't know how long she was unconscious, though. She was asleep when you came across her.
Listen, it doesn't matter. You're asking too many questions.
Yeah.
So now there's solar dragons, okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Solar Dragon bears the two twins back out of the broken dome. Much murmuring up in the crowd. And then Vokoth points down. You lot. He turns to Lukari. And you. We must have words. And he flings his cloak about him dramatically and storms off with his bodyguards back into his tower.
Head that direction.
He's invited you all into Area 5, up into his how does it describe it? His private sanctum?
Are we gonna find like Slave Leia up here?
Yeah, she's there, of course. Now, usually, I would not like. Usually, my style is not to have a very crunchy roleplay encounter, but this roleplay encounter is purely crunch, so that's how I'm going to run it. So I'm just going to explain the mechanics to you guys up front, and let you take the wheel after that. Here's the idea. Vokoth promised you that if you won his 3 battles in his arena, that he would arrange a meeting with the leaders of the various factions who have come here. This is your best chance of building a coalition against the Xaryxian fleet. And now Vokoth himself knows that he and his wealth are not themselves safe from Xaryxis. Like, they'll just bust in the ceiling whenever they want. There are 5 factions. Well, 6 if you guys are counting yourself as a faction. 7 if you want to count Vokoth himself. And I'm going to place them on the board here, and you guys are going to want to label them, I guess. So this orange one represents the Hadozee faction. His name is Dakar. And the Hadozee faction is inclined in your favor because your captain is a Hadozee, and it's nice to see. So they're
nice to get a freebie.
Yeah, well, it's not freebie. It just means their attitude towards you is friendly to begin with. This white one is the representative from the Aarakocra faction. Her name is Rika, and she is also friendly towards you. Primarily because Aarakocra are just good people. You know, they're waiting for Jonathan. But she's also the only good aligned character in this scene. And she sees the threat of the Xaryxian Empire. The next faction are the Thrycreans. Thrycreans are these giant insectoid creatures. They're bug people. Like, if you met one in the street, you would roll initiative and kill it because you thought it was a monster. And then somebody would be like, oh yeah, that was Jim. And you'd be like, oh man, I killed Jim. That's terrible. Thrycreans, I believe in this setting, are highly psionic. This one in particular is a mystic. And I think this is the only time I've ever seen Mystic used in the, as a NPC class. I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else in the printed books. They're neutral towards you, to begin with.
You didn't give a name, so I'm just going to go with Jim.
Takitka.
No, we're going with Jim.
Or Jim's fine. Jim's great. This magenta one, these represent the Artuks. I do not know if Artuks have gender because they are bizarre starfish plant monsters. Its name is Vortshu, and they are disinclined to look upon your group favorably because you just murdered a bunch of them, rescuing Blastomoth. And
this is the one that we walk into a room and we think it's a monster. Because we did that already.
I mean, the Thrycreen and the Artuk and this last one, the Suran, named Zothes, who will be green. Because I'm a racist and all reptiles are green. So the Surans are these reptilian sort of, I guess they're dragonkin, maybe? They have long giraffe necks with fins on them. And they're called, it says monstrosity and then in parentheses lizard folk. So I guess they're a spin-off of lizard folk. And they're also highly psionic, apparently. The Surans also regard you neutrally. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and roll initiative. The book doesn't say to roll initiative, but I can't think of another fair way to do it.
You're deviating from the book, Brick Road.
Well, like, it's just, I got to give you guys an opportunity to roll checks and stuff, and I'm just going to do this to organize the order properly.
Nah, that's fair. I'm just funning.
McDohl, you're always so mean to me. We're going to have a talk about this. Like, every week we
I
play
love you,
D&D, and I'm like, man, McDohl just picks on me all the time.
I'm just gonna move these so I can read the text that's written under them.
So here's what you can do on your turn in this sea. Your goal is to get as many of these factions as possible to join your coalition against the Xaryxian Empire. There's actually no win or loss condition here. If you don't get any, you just go on to the next part of the adventure without any. If you get at least 4, Vokoth himself will also supply Mercane mercenaries as part of the fleet. So this scene is going to determine whether you kind of roll up in Xaryxis space with just your 2 ships that you have, or if you roll up with, I think you can get like 30 or more ships here. The Aarakocra have 5, the Artuks have 5, the Hadozee have 3, the Mercanes will supply 7, the Surans have 6, and the Thrycreen have 4. I don't know if any of those numbers are actually important, but they're in the book, so. On your turn, here's what you can do. You can attempt to make a case. You can address one of the factions and attempt to make a case using either deception, intimidation, or persuasion. Or you can take a help action, which allows somebody further down the initiative than you to make a case at advantage. Or you can roll an insight check to determine a way against one faction to improve their disposition by 1 step. Or you can do something to adjust their attitude if you either guess correctly or you've previously made an insight check to learn what to do. Each faction has a few things you can do to make them friendlier towards you. Their level of friendliness determines how difficult it is to convince them with your charisma check. And if you fail a charisma check against a faction, you cannot try again until you've convinced one other faction. So if Lukari tries to convince these unfavorable starfish people to join your cause and he rolls a 2 and they're not convinced, you've got to convince some other faction first before you can go back and try with them again. Does that sound...
Yeah,
Sounds
reasonable to everybody?
equitable.
All right, so
Sounds equitable.
Vokoth is here kind of not even in a mediator role. Like, he doesn't join the conversation at all. He's definitely giving off vibes like, this is just, I don't want any part of any of this. He wants to stay out as much as possible. But if you convince 4 of these factions, his hand will kind of politically be forced. Like, he'll see which way the wind is going. All right, so starting at the top with, I think, Big Mousse.
All right. I'm going to roll an insight check on Fortune.
Okay, go ahead and give me that check.
Unfavorable. That's an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
So Vortshu opens the meeting kind of like, if these are the people in charge of putting together any sort of coalition, I think we all need to walk right now. And then he describes what you did on their Terrask-infested asteroid plateau. When you landed, this other guy I guess Blastomoff's here as well. Go ahead and move Blastomoff over. Don't want him to miss proceedings. I'm not going to put him on the initiative, though, because I'm not going to have my NPCs try to convince my other NPCs. That's just pointing a mirror at another mirror.
Masturbation.
Spider-Man meme.
But Vortshu is very angry with you. There's been loss of life. He blames you. Of course, it wasn't your fault. Like, they were in the process of chasing and trying to drag Blastomoff to his death. So, you guys didn't do anything wrong, but there was a cultural miscalculation there. Also, he's a weird starfish plant without a face. Very difficult to read. So your 8 on insight gives you nothing.
I'd like to use 4 blips, please, from the previous campaign. I had some left over.
No blips in Spelljammer.
Damn.
Yep.
They don't work in space.
Who's next?
Require gravity.
Destil. Who is next?
Sorry. Next up is Sarge with Naught on deck.
So, I have a question.
Yeah.
What constitutes a how do we know when a task is complete for somebody?
I'll tell you.
Friendly's not good enough. Oh, we'll just check it off the list. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is, at character creation, I just sort of picked languages randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Sarge can speak Thrycreen or
Okay.
Thrycreen. I want to do an insight check on the Thrycreen.
Okay.
And
Give me that check at advantage if you speak their language.
yeah.
I mean, they're speaking common here. Like, everybody can understand each
Yeah.
other, but...
There's some nuances that cannot be...
16.
16. One of two things will improve their demeanor from neutral to friendly. The first is, as you were walking around Vokoth's station before, overhearing some Thrycreen speaking in their native tongue, you kind of eavesdropped a little bit, or just overheard, that in their previous encounter before coming here, their stores took a hit. They're low on food. If you could supply them with at least 30 days worth of food, that would improve their demeanor. Alternately, one of their ships, their spelljamming helm, is damaged to the point that it cannot be repaired and needs to be replaced. So if you supply them with a spelljamming helm, that would also improve their disposition.
I'm just writing this down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I give that information to somebody, or is that all for my turn?
Yeah, we can go forward with the rest of the party with the understanding that they all know this information.
Okay, cool. All right, next up.
All right, next up we've got Naught with Milos. I would like to plead our case to the Aarakocra using persuasion.
So what's the argument?
My argument that these fiends are obviously a danger to all of spelljamming space, and that simply ignoring them is just going down with them at your doorstep stronger than if you do something now.
Make this check at advantage.
Okay. Just +6, +7. Excellent. That's a 24.
Rika's not the captain of the Aarakocra ship that's currently docked here, but she is chief advisor to the captain of the ship, whose name is Kreesh, which might be the most Aarakocra name ever.
More so than Jonathan?
Jonathan sounds like he was adopted by gnomes.
I'm pretty sure after that movie, Jonathan is now the iconic Aarakocra. If we go back to
My favorite
Vore,
thing
Ivy.
is in like Flumph the Wild. Like we made a big deal about how, like all the Aarakocra had names that were unpronounceable. So we had like and like super long and like whistles
Yeah.
and bullshit. And then like now we have Jonathan.
Right.
Yeah, we have this. We have the. Yeah, no, that's why the D&D movie is bad. Everybody.
So
Ruined the magic.
I gave you advantage on the check because it literally says in the adventure that the Aarakocra are most concerned about personal freedom. So making this appeal that, hey, like having this empire in space here that is just going to like enslave her, this is bad news for everybody. If we don't stand against them, like who will? And Rika agrees. She said that I came here to say that, to make that exact argument. And she makes the appeal to everyone else that now that it looks like a coalition might actually congeal together, she will advise her captain to join. So you can check Aarakocra off the list.
Oh, well,
1 out of 5.
that's wrong.
You gotta get better at the check marks, my dude.
I'll get the tablet out then.
Who's next?
Next up, we've got Milos with Lukari on deck.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna see insight on the Surin representative's office.
Okay, go ahead and give me an insight check.
That's a 25.
Okay. Surins, these particular Surins, I should say, are deeply in debt to Vokoth. Like, they're way in his pocket. And they're also mercenaries. You definitely get the sense that you can just buy their support. You can do this with at least 500 golden coins, gem, or art objects, or a magic item of uncommon rarity or better.
I've got 300.
I mean, they can just.
I've got some.
I have another 80.
I have 50.
I have about 200.
I might
Let's-
have like 100.
Yeah, let's root through the couch cushions, see what we got here.
What do I have? 109.
We're all just huddled together, like pulling out our pockets.
Sorry, who did you speak to? I was.
That
The
was
Surin, Zothas, the Surin.
Okay. Cool.
Zothas is commander of one of the wasp ships of the Surins.
You said money or what?
Or a magic item of uncommon rarity or better.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna just put that here.
It doesn't say this in the book, but I'm going to tap on like a non-consumable magic item of uncommon or better. It's probably... Like, there are uncommon potions that I don't think they would be very impressed by. I don't think you have any, but...
Almost certainly not, right?
We all have uncommon magic items. We started with them.
Also, Surin is spelled with 2 S's and 2 R's.
Nope. So it's spelled like this now.
Okay, it's fair. Alright, so that was not...
With Raikeen
Yep.
is Jim.
Oh,
that
that was
was-
not. That
that-
was
That was
Milos?
Milos. We've got Lukari with then the top of the round again with Mousse.
My insight
we
kind of
gotta-
sucks. So I suppose Lukari is going to try and convince the Hadozee to join the coalition.
Alright,
I think. Well, hold on. Like if you allow us some metagaming,
metagame away,
you-
my dude.
you should
The-
not. You should wait. Yeah.
I'm keeping that in the back pocket in case we beef one of these.
Right, because we unlock another chance if we beef one by convincing the friendly one.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Milos will be able to convince Dekar about this.
What's Milos's persuasion and deception stuff?
Not great, but
We could just pass turns until we get to a good person, right? On that, like, what is Lukari's insight?
His insight's +1. His persuasion and everything else is +4.
Can you why don't you give the money to the Zothas, the Surin?
Yeah, if you want to give the money to the other, use back.
How are we going to split that up? I have 109. I'm happy to.
I have
use all
375, so I'll just take 300 off my sheet.
You can have all
I
50
have-
of my gold.
I'll drop
I
100.
have 88. So how much is that altogether?
We're too charitable.
If Destil does 300, if I do 100, we just need another 100.
Well, you can have all 50 of mine. I'm a little blob man. I don't
And
know.
I'll kick in 50 as well. So there we go.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
So,
Math,
Lukari,
math is complete.
you step forward and offer 500 gold to the Surin delegation.
Yep.
To which the leader, Zothas, thanks you graciously and says that the money will be used to repair the broken leg on her ship, the Gadabout. You know that that's not true. You know that she needs to pay off Vokoth, but she's trying to save some face.
No, yeah.
So yes, you can improve the Surins from neutral to favorable.
Just, yeah,
Oh,
up,
you
an up
got it.
arrow.
Okay. Okay, you got it.
Your arrow actually, yours actually looks more like an arrow. Mine looks like an umbrella.
That looks like an umbrella. Yeah, it looks like a.
So I can fix this. I can fix this. Good.
Good.
Much. This is better.
So that was Lukari. Who's next? Well, I guess at this
After
point, at the bottom, blast them off does like something ineffective.
Yeah, then we've got Mousse with Surge.
I've just spent the entire time watching Vortshu,
Okay.
the Arctukes. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm just like staring at them. Just them, because we don't know if they have genders. I mean, plants have genders, so they should, right?
So
I rolled
Mousse is
another.
sitting, he's standing there just staring at the starfish monster like, where's its dick?
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm doing, because I rolled another 2. That's another 8.
Okay.
Like, so, yeah, my brain, Moose's mind wanders. He goes, I wonder how they reproduce. Is it pollen based? Do they have, like...
Starfish are asexual, right?
Right, but they're plants. Anyway, Mousse gets sidetracked.
Okay.
Accomplishes nothing.
Who's next?
Next up, I believe we have Sarge
Sarge.
with Naught.
He is not a botanist.
Sarge will help. I don't know how he'll help because he's a soldier. He's going to stand behind Naught and look imposing to offer Naught advantage at doing something.
So not if you try to make a charisma
Yep.
check, you get to roll at advantage.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What was the last one we influenced? The Artuk?
Saran, actually.
So these are so the Saran are friendly.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that lowers the DC.
Yes.
This is a mid DC, and this is like probably really high. So if you want to like take your advantage, your best bet's probably just to go for Jim.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's turn to Jim.
Okay.
And you said they needed food and they needed repairs to their ship. Right? They need a new helm,
They
right?
need a new helm or
Yeah,
30 days of food.
You can improve their disposition by giving them food or a spelljamming helm, or you can try to make the roll at neutral disposition.
So I'm going to attempt to do a persuasion, and I'm going to attempt to convince them that they will have first, that because the Thrycreen are obviously, quite powerful in this area, but if they were to join us, I could sweeten the pot a little bit by offering them first pick on any plunder, in particular of any spelljamming ships we come across along the way, to kind of offer them something that they need without, saying insulting them outright that you don't even have a spelljamming hell, dude.
And I love this line, this response in the adventure. Sakika admits that the Thrycreen have, because of their lack of stores recently, they've taken to eating the Artukes.
Ooh.
Is that a persuasion advantage, or?
It depends on if you're lying about this or not.
No, I'm not.
Okay, then yeah, it's persuasion at advantage because Sarge is
They got
helping.
the first spelljamming help we find. I don't care. That's a 20 on persuasion.
Okay.
Hopefully a 20 does it.
Sakika thinks about it for a moment and says that, her faction would be very keen if the coalition, on contingent that the coalition can be built and led competently. They would be very keen to get their mandibles on a star moth or two and pick it clean for helms and resources. So
Okay.
the Thrycreen are in.
I mean, they have hands. They have extra hands.
Also mandibles.
They want to get their mandibles on the food.
They want to get their
They're
hands on.
obvious. Never come to negotiations hungry. She failed the first rule.
It didn't come up, but the Aarakocra are really into maps, so you have to give them the wild space or you got from Topola.
That's cute.
They love maps.
And shiny things.
So that was not who's next.
After Naught, we've got Miles with Lukari on deck.
Milos is going to try and see if he could figure out what Vortshu's deal is, because clearly the good doctor's not having a good time of it. That's another 25.
25?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vortshu's not having a good day because he's being made to sit in this meeting with this group of gadabouts. Just
Yeah. That's a
and
good word for it.
like the person that they're sitting next to just admitted, like, oh, we're eating these guys too. But here's the thing: is that the Artuk, having scuffled with them in the past, that time he murdered a bunch of them, they're violent and they're strong and they recognize and respect strength. You think you can appeal to their adversarial nature. So here's what you can do. One of two things.
Mm-hmm.
One, if you challenge the Thri-Kreen representative to a duel to show like solidarity for the Artuk, that would be enough to win them over. Or if you defeat Vortshu in a wrestling match. Now, he's a starfish monster, so very grabby. So now that you guys know what some ways, and you might need both if you want to get them all the way up to friendly.
Right.
So these aren't gifts, these are skill checks. Also, there's no Giff faction.
Okay, well, that I've drilled down to the heart of the matter. Yeah,
Okay.
it's up to my talented crew to make it happen somehow.
Now Mousse can stop staring. Who's next?
Next up, we've got Lukari with Mousse. Am I right?
Can Lukari help Naught with his next attempted persuasion?
Yeah, that's fine. So Naught will have next advantage on his next charisma check that he makes.
Crap, I was gonna do that.
Who's next?
Well, you. All right.
We got Mousse with Sarge.
Mousse is going to turn to the Thri-Kreen and challenge them to a duel with the what's the word here? Like the thing being that if they lose, that they're not allowed to eat the Artuks anymore.
It's not
Because
a duel to the death, is it?
That's just
Takika
barbaric.
seems almost amused by the challenge. She declines the duel, but she says as long as we're in the coalition, if we do manage to form one, if we're fighting alongside the Artuk, we will refrain from eating them for the course of the conflict. And also, you guys have promised them good pick of the supplies, good pick of salvage. So, however, upon doing this, the challenge alone is enough to win over Vortshu, so you can improve Vortshu to neutral.
I was actually going to try that because I was like, well, shit, I can't make a insight check to save my life. Depending on what they're gonna do, I'm gonna confront them about eating the thing.
Just the knowledge that somebody's there to stick up for the starfish.
Right. Well, listen, cryptids have to stick together.
Right.
So where does that put them?
They are now at neutral from unfavorable. Okay. So that brings us to Sarge.
Well, if Naught already has help, I feel like the only thing that I can really do is challenge Vortshu to a wrestling match.
Which the crazy starfish plant monster immediately accepts. So, Sarge steps forward, rolls up his sleeve. Have you ever wrestled with a man-sized starfish before?
I mean,
Can't
yes.
say that's
once, and he was drunk. This was before he became a sergeant.
So what this requires from you is you need to succeed on 3 athletics checks. DC is 14 before you fail 3.
Okay. I am a Giff. I have advantage.
Yeah, it's a strength athletics check, so you're the guy to do it.
Yeah.
you are the man's.
All right. There's a pass. That's a 21.
Blastimoff is exceedingly in favor of the sport. Puffing away on his pipe as it goes down.
There's a pass. 22.
Mousse is cheering for the starfish just to make things even.
That's a I have an 11. That's a fail. And a pass with a natural 20.
See, I think you should get the point whether you pass or fail. Like, if you beat him, he respects your strength, but, like, if he beats you, then... yeah, that's enough.
Respect courage.
Three passes and a fail.
You're now extremely sweaty and itchy from being grappled by a starfish for a few moments. Some coin has exchanged hands amongst the other spectators. Blastomoth gives you a clap on the back and a great job, old sport. And you can improve Vort's shoe from unfavorable to friendly.
It's like it's like getting up on some like house insulation.
Yes. So where I empathize with this is our new puppy is very bitey. So our arms are covered with like teeth marks, and they just itch all the time. And I imagine that's what it feels like after you wrestle with a starfish.
Chihuahuas don't have teeth.
Yeah, they do. They're super sharp.
I assure you they do.
They are
Small
super sharp.
Small dogs are vicious with
Yep.
their teeth.
I mean, he's just play biting. He's just nipping. He's not like...
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
You would know if the dog wanted to bite you.
right. I mean, Lulu knows for sure. Because Lulu has, like, they docked her tail. So she has this little stump. And, man, he loves to chomp down on that stump. I've seen him do it, and she doesn't like it at all. She's not into it. Not a Vore fetishist. Who's next?
Is that me now? Was that Sarge?
That was
that way.
Sarge.
Yep, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got left. We've got the Hadozee, which we're saving, the Artuk, which are now favorable, and the Saran, which are now what?
They're everybody's favorable at this point.
Okay.
You guys have made lots of friends in here.
Okay, so you won by... We don't know anything specifically about the Saran. We don't know anything about these three. It's just like, at this point, it's just a raw... Like, I'm just going to try and peer pressure the Saran into, hey, look, everybody else is coming along. They're all seeing a good... They all seem to know a good thing when they see it. You should probably make sure that you guys, you know, this is going to work.
Okay.
You should come
They're,
along with us.
they're the mercenaries. They like money.
Yeah, you've got...
Oh, were they the ones we paid?
We've already paid them. Yeah.
You gave them a
Yeah,
gift
but
to
I don't
improve their disposition. And you can make this at advantage because you've got Lukari backing you up.
All right. So that's +7, which would be a 22.
2.
And yeah, Zothis, the Saran representative, says that she's going to apply the money that you've given her to making repairs to the ship. And, like, you've already promised, like, choice salvage of spelljamming helms to another faction, but she says there's all sorts of other treasure to get their hands on. They look forward to dismantling as many star moths as they can get in sight of.
Okay.
So you've got the Surins.
Did we ever figure out what the Hadozee want?
They're already
Or do they
friendly.
Okay.
It gives me the option to pick which two are friendly, and those are
Mhm.
just the two that seemed correct to me.
Most likely.
All right, who's next?
Next up, we've got Milos with Lukari.
I'm going to aid Lukari on his next check.
Okay.
Okay. I guess with the help of Milos, Lukari will try and convince the Hadozee to join.
Okay, what's the argument?
We've seen your kind fight before. We know that you're brave and adventurous, and surely adventure awaits, and you can help your friends, and if they're doing it to our world, there's a chance that they'll do it to yours. Everyone's at risk.
Okay. So you're going with deception or persuasion? Or intimidation. I guess intimidation is an option here if you're making the argument that...
We'll go with persuasion.
Okay. Yeah, make this at advantage if you've got Captain Milos backing you up.
Thank God for advantage. It's going to be a 17.
Okay. Dekar says that he and his crew, war is not something that they long for, not something that they're looking to get involved with. But they're also looking to acquire better weaponry for their vessels. They're a small fish in a big ocean, and sometimes having the bigger bang is exactly what they need. Yeah, they agree to the coalition, and it says that they want new weapons, but you can improve their disposition by offering them a musical instrument. So maybe they don't know what weapons are exactly.
They're all bards.
They're all bards. That's it.
Yeah.
And as Commander Descartes asserts his support, at this point, Vokoth holds up his hand. And he says that if a fleet is being assembled here in my very seat, it seems I would do well to make my own strength known. He says he's going to put the call out to some other Mercanes who owes him a favor in order to offer his own support for the fleet. He's good for 7 ships. That just leaves the Starfish people. Who's next?
I believe we're on Mousse with Sarge.
I'm going to use my cryptid energy to support Naught as he, convinces the Fortune, Artukes, whatever. The names are both weird. I don't remember which one is the race.
There are Artukes.
Okay. The Starfish. So just weird cryptid vibes going Naught's way.
Okay.
Okay. Sarge with Naught.
Pass.
I mean, Sarge is off in the corner, like Blastall's got a towel over his shoulders, like, you did good, champ.
Yeah. I can only fuck this up. I'm deferring to someone who's competent.
So what we know about the Starfish is that they want to wrestle, and that's all I've picked up in this conversation. Is that right?
They value strength.
Yeah,
They value strength. Oh, okay, I'll say, look.
And they don't want to be eaten.
Yeah. Look, we've convinced the Thrycreen to not eat you. Everyone here is going along with us because this is obviously going to be the best plan. Why don't you get on board?
Okay.
What do I roll?
Well, whatever you want. Depending on whether you're lying about that or not, you could pick deception if you really wanted to.
How's my deception? It's pretty good. So I can use deception, and then we can let the Starfish or the Thrycreen eat a few of them to fix their rations problem. No, I'll use persuasion. Is this this is advantage?
Yeah, because you're being assisted.
Okay, that's 20.
All right. Yeah, Vorshu kind of balks at your case. This is, if there's going to be a fight against the Xaryxians, of course, my people and I would not be left out of it. We are not cowards. And asserts that you have the Artuk's support, but in the most bristly, starfishy kind of way possible.
That scene was just not running around to every group with the most extreme manic energy he can manage.
You know what? I have decided that this group would not do well on Flumph Survivor.
No, absolutely not.
I like this note. It says, from now on, the adventure makes no assumption about which ship the characters are traveling on.
Oh.
Okay.
There's just too many possibilities.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you guys have
Book
2.
6 are-
You guys rolled up with 2 because you saved Garganhale's vessel and put a Spelljammer on it. So you have a fleet of, what is it, 10, 13, 15, 26... You have a fleet of 32 ships.
Wow.
Let's go conquer somebody.
Do I call myself Admiral at this point?
I was about to say that. I was I was about to suggest we.
Do you make the case that you should be called, like you should be?
No, absolutely not.
Well, then
No,
the
I'm
question
just gonna
becomes,
start
who
What
is?
about, what about Fleet Captain?
Who's like,
Fleet
yeah,
Captain, yes. I like Fleet Captain, yes.
is
Excellent.
Milos in charge of the fleet? Of the whole coalition?
Sarge stands behind Milos and salutes.
Yes, I am.
Good job, Admiral.
Fleet Captain.
I like Admiral better. It goes with the
Fleet
hat.
Captain. Fleet Captain.
It's not even his hat.
It is now. Possession is 9/10 of the law, Brookroad.
That's true. All right, so it's going to take a little while for all of this to coalesce. You've got to wait for Mercanes to arrive back in place.
Haven't we hit the? So I don't remember, but I could have sworn they said we had a month before the planet was eaten.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 6 months. But
I thought it was 6 months.
okay, maybe it's 6 months.
Yeah.
But because we've been out here like 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're on a time crunch, but...
Everybody take the benefits of a long rest.
Thank
And
God.
everybody can take a moment to level up.
Oh my.
Oh, must be the end of that adventure.
Yeah, this was the filler adventure. It was just the one social... I guess you, if you really wanted to, you could fight the solar dragon.
I was convinced that someone was going to tell me to fire.
If you
I'm very
do,
glad that you didn't.
it's revealed immediately that Zelith is just an illusion. Like, he's not actually there, but his dragon is actually there. So you can kill his dragon, but he doesn't...
Yeah.
Like, nothing happens. And then Zidali just has to summon her own to fly off.
I mean, I had 8 hit points.
It's
Not
a CR8 dragon. He has a photonic breath that does 8d10 radiant damage.
hey,
I
Not-
might survive
Mhm.
that. Nobody else would,
don't
though.
forget I gave you 2 potions.
Oh, you actually did that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, level up.
So I love this exchange as well. Because Zidali, she casts Mislead to turn invisible, creating an illusory duplicate of herself. The duplicate steps forward and gives the big speech about Xaryxian politics, while her invisible self steps next to one of the characters, drops the ring, and then uses sending to tell
Nice, that's smart.
and then she
That's
immediately
really good.
she steps back into herself so she can leave. Like, that seemed needlessly complicated to me. Like, she could have just dropped the ring without anybody noticing.
I mean, she's an aristocrat.
She's a space elf, so I understand. Like, she's got to keep up airs and do everything in the most stupid magical way possible.
Most extra way.
The ring. Does anybody have the means to identify things in this group? I forget.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
not me.
I mean, you can identify things by just being in contact with them over a long rest, can't you?
I wouldn't allow that in my usual campaign, but this is... I guess we can allow that for Spelljammer. Who has the ring, by the way? Did Milos keep it?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got it right now.
I need a strong non-concentration spell.
Milos. The ring...
I mean, I could spend my feet on Ritual Caster or Magic Initiative, but
The ring is a ring of shooting stars.
a ring of shooting stars, you say?
Requires
That's
attune.
fun.
Requires attunement. It has 6 charges. It's not class locked. Anybody can use this, so you can decide who in the party wants to carry it. You can spend 1 charge to cast Fairy Fire, which we all know is the best spell in the game. You can cast Dancing Lights or Light at will without expending a charge. You can expend 2 charges to cast Ball Lightning. And up to 3 charges to cast Shooting Stars, which launches glowing motes of light from the ring that explode into fire damage. So it's an attack ring. And she was wearing this when the pirates got her. So she could have done, used the ring and then summoned her dragon.
She was tired.
She was real tired. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
She said that we need the ring, though.
She
we
did-
need to fireball our way in.
she did say you need the ring to save your world.
So yeah, Sarge will say that you're the captain. You should keep it.
Okay, go ahead and level yourselves up. I'm going to step away for just 2 minutes, and we'll see this fleet come together. I'll be right back.
Wisdom.
Yeah, level 8's real easy. Dexterity went up. Yay.
Yep,
Done.
charisma.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going dexterity up, but I'm wondering how if I want to do just a flat ASI or if I want to do another feat.
Is yours dexterity, odd, or even?
It's odd.
Yeah.
Get a feat.
Yeah. This is the last level up, so.
You can take.
I don't know what the good dexterity feats are off the top of my head for your character.
Does Piercer? Because you fight with a.
Yeah, Piercer would be good.
I didn't even see that.
+1 to your dex, and then once a turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals
Oh.
piercing damage, you can re-roll one of the attack damage dice. And when you roll a critical hit,
Oh, you triple dice instead of double dice.
yeah,
Oh, medium armor. Why?
you don't triple dice. You get to roll one additional damage dice, so you get to
Yeah.
roll one more d6 on a crit.
Yeah.
But that's or d8.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good.
That's great. No, that's really great. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think the re-rolling is worth it because you if you roll bad on your rapier, you can if you
Got a
roll
lot of-
one. Yep.
I've got a lot of really good spells I could pick up.
I am going to take. Where is it? Is it resilient? No, it's not. It's where is it? Resilient?
I should look at the feeds, I guess.
Yeah. Wisdom. Right.
So as far as your NPC buddies are concerned, Blastomoth is very impressed with how you handled the whole situation. The arena fights, the restraints when the would-be Emperor showed up, and then the diplomatic acumen you displayed during the council. This is exactly the work he was trying to do and couldn't. So he's very impressed. Crux is convinced that you all are just the heroes of Doomspace. Like, you are the golden boys that they've been waiting for a long time to come in and set many wrongs right. He would describe all of you as having a heart of gold.
Uh-huh.
Garganhale is super jazzed. Like, this kind of coalition, like going off on a grand adventure against the Empire. Like, this is exactly the kind of thing he unlives for.
For sure.
Topola, you think she knows what's going on, but you can never really be sure. There's lots of pretty birds to look at.
There's one sitting in this room, right?
She's it doesn't say in the adventure, but yeah, she'd be really into the Aarakocra.
Like the Aarakocra, she walks up. Do you know Jonathan?
Yes, all Aarakocra know each other.
No, just all Aarakocra know Jonathan.
That could be. So, what ship does the party travel on when the fleet moves out? Are you staying aboard the Second Wind?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah, I like the Second Wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get the Treant to actually do something.
I mean,
no.
it's Milos' ship now, basically, right?
You tell the train about the coalition, he's like, I don't care. Like, Koa what now? So what, you got a bunch of annoying little people together to do something? That doesn't interest him. After a few days, the Mercane fleet arrives. He is offered 2 hammerhead ships, which I think are big boy ships. Yeah, they're like ramming ships. Yeah, with Ballista and Mangonel. And a batch of squid ships. You guys went on a squid ship earlier in the adventure.
We did.
So these are privateer vessels. They're owned by, one of them is owned by Vokath, and the other ships are owned by other Mercanes throughout, like, his contacts. But they're manned by mercenary crews. The Mercanes themselves are not going to go off into war. That would just be silly. So yeah, they're manned by humans and Thrycreen. Still no Giffs. They didn't hire Giffs to man their ship. There's no Giffs anywhere in this coalition except on the Second Wind, which has 3, which seems like too many.
I wouldn't want them if you know,
Excuse me.
listen, no offense to the Giff, but you guys have not been performing the best.
Who was the one who crit for like 50 on that worm and saved your ass?
Listen, a stopped clock is right exactly 2 times a day, unless it's a digital clock, and then it's never right.
There are at
Makes a
least
mental note not to heal Mousse anymore.
Mousse is not saying this.
Okay, that's fair.
there are at least Giff NPCs in the adventure. There are no plasmoids whatsoever.
Yeah, they're. Well, they changed the.
That's right. They changed the Hadozee crewman to a plasmoid for nobody knows why. But there's no named plasmoid NPC anywhere.
There's a
That's
picture
fine.
of one behind the princess.
That was Mousse.
No,
Mousse
Mousse
is
isn't that buff.
Mousse is just not that buff. He's also like 2.5 feet tall.
So
He's
you guys
also not blue.
have taken the benefits of the long rest, and did everybody go ahead and level themselves up?
I'm
Yeah.
still trying to
Yes.
pick a spell, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, over the course of the next few days, the Mercane ships arrive. You guys get to know the other factions a little bit. The people that you spoke to in the council become like your contact, your kind of go-to between them. And yeah, you've got this loose alliance, and they are all currently recognizing Fleet Captain Milos. Milos, do you need to commission a bigger hat?
The hat I have is plenty big as is.
Get the haberdasher on the line.
So like is that so? There's a shop here. So what Mousse is going to do is he's going to borrow 10 gold from somebody. And he's going to go get a giant feather.
Okay.
And he's going to give it to Milos to put in his hat.
Okay.
Sergeant
okay.
immediately gives up 10 gold for that.
So Mousse sneaks onto the Aarakocra ship, and
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the Aarakocra for the largest feather they can give me. I tell them I'll pay them.
wow,
We're gonna put.
that's extremely creepy.
Is that rude? Yeah.
Imagine going up to somebody and saying, "Can I buy one of your fingernails?"
All right, so I went with greater invisibility because I can twin it.
Okay.
So you guys know if 2 of you need to be completely invisible.
I went with getting another key point.
And you guys,
Clearly, I hear you spend a lot of key points.
Yeah, he does.
getting the fleet together and leaving Doom Space and heading out for Xaryxis space, which means leaving the colorful wild space behind and heading back out into the creepy, silvery Astral Sea. The light of distant stars coalesces into clouds that vaguely resemble faces as inscrutable as they are enormous. Perhaps these are the visages of gods watching over you, or perhaps they're merely figments of the astral plane, stray thoughts given form. Sounds like an excellent description for the first time the characters enter the astral plane, not the second time, but none of that matters, however. A distant roar draws your attention to one of the cloudy visages from which a mouth emerges a large red dragon. Riding the dragon is a knight clad in golden armor, their face hidden behind a fearsome visor shaped like a dragon's scowling visage. Don't use visage twice in one paragraph. So next week on Light of Xaryxis, is it like pretty cheeky to have 2 episodes in a row end with a dragon rider showing up.
Oh my.
Who is this schmo? We'll find out next week. So yeah, everybody should be level 8, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
And that should be it for level ups for this campaign.
I wonder if this dragoon is voiced by the dragoon from Final Fantasy
By
15.
Robert Vernon.
Yeah. Just we get him to come in here and.
Is this guy going to use his action for his exposition?
God.
Are they gonna just perch menacingly on like a point in the moonlight?
I guess we'll find out next week. You guys get to fight a red dragon, maybe.
Estinian is
Oh,
basically
it better
a
not be
cheat code.
Thumberchod. He's too cute.
Yeah.
Timbershot. He needs a hug.
He's all chonky.
Chunky dragons.
That's a $35 plushie. I don't know how bad I need it.
I really,
So-
really want it.
He's so chunky though.
He's so fat. I love him. And he's
Alright.
so smug too.
Thanks for playing, my dudes. See everybody next
Yep.
Sunday.
Later.
Yeah, cheers.
Later,
Have a good one.
friends.